Hey guys, this is Miss Jones and I'm here to show you how to use our electronic card catalog. You can actually even access this from your own home or on your cell phone if you have data and all that good stuff, access to the internet. But from our home page, I've already gone here to card catalogs and I can just click down here. I've got two card catalogs here so far. I've got South Green's card catalog, and then I've also got Greenville-Greene County Public Library's catalog, because sometimes, they have books that we don't have. They have a wider selection, and they also have a bigger audience, like a more diverse audience. There are certain things that maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable purchasing for our school library because maturity level, blah, blah. And you might be able to find that at the Greenville-Greene County Public Library, because they also cater to adults. And so just keep that in mind. And I will also mention, if you're ever looking for a book in our card catalog and you don't see it and you really want it and you think a lot of other people would enjoy reading it, you should certainly let me know. So that way I can go ahead and possibly purchase that for you. I'm going back because I realized as I was talking, I went ahead and clicked it. But the card catalog, you're going to click that link and it's going to take you there. But just in case you don't know, there you go. All right, so you can search this with 5 different options, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the easiest options. We've got keyword, title, author, subject, and series. Title is kind of self-explanatory. If you're looking for a particular book and you want to know if we have it. One girl came in and was looking for this book called Wings. It was in the fiction section. So I could type in Wings and hit title. And we actually have several books come up. We've got 7 books that came up. The first one that came up is the one she was looking for. So that was handy, but notice anything with Wings in the title is going to come up, including Murder in the West Wing, an Eleanor Roosevelt mystery, which is still fiction, even though it's about Eleanor Roosevelt. It's a fictional account. So of course she would look for the call number, and now the author's last name is Pike. Now if you know the author's last name, you can actually go to the fiction section and search by the first 3 letters of the author's last name, because that's how the fiction section is organized in libraries. So anyway, there's that. Now I can hit the back arrow, but sometimes it kicks me out. So if you want to go to the library search here on the side, that is more faithful to always get you there. So just kind of for your information. All right, so since we're kind of thinking about fiction already, let's continue in that vein. So sometimes students come in, and honestly, I read more nonfiction than I do fiction. So when students come in and talk to me about particular books and book recommendations, sometimes I have a hard time steering them in the right direction since I don't read a lot of fiction. But there's this beautiful thing where you can search by subject, and that, because I know how to do that, I can help them. So maybe they come in. I actually had a girl come in the other day, and she was looking for, she said, I want to read romance. So what do you have that's romance? I can click subject here, and we've got all kinds of books that come up that are classified under romance. And in fact, we have 89. So you may want to kind of whittle your way down. Like you could say romance and action. If you're looking for romance and action, that's going to make the list smaller and stuff like that. But I'm kind of drawn to this cover. I mean, I know they say not to judge a book by its cover, but here I am doing it. So this is called The Beauty of Darkness, and I can either click on the the title, or I can click on details. Honestly, both will take me to the same information. So here there's a little blurb about it. Princess Leia, and her love have escaped Venda, and the path before them is winding and dangerous. Okay, sounds interesting. All right. Now, here's the problem, though. It says it's book 3 in the Remnant Chronicles. So I could either say, well, surely they're shelved around in the same area. So let's go to the author's last name, the first 3 letters, P-E-A, since it's Mary Pearson, and try to find the first book in the series. Now, here's the problem. Sometimes the books aren't labeled book 1, book 2, book 3. That's something that as a new librarian I'm starting to do, but the librarian we had before didn't always do that, and sometimes we don't know without doing further searches on Google or other things, but you can also search this way. So I could actually highlight, copy and paste, and go back to library search and say, okay, well, you know, obviously that same author wrote all of the books in that series, so I can paste her in there and look for it by author. And here we go. There's The Beauty of Darkness, book 3. Here we've got book 2, and there's book 1. So of course I'm going to want to start with book 1. And here we've got The Kiss of Deception. So still, again, you know, by the first 3 letters of the author's last name. Let's double check, make sure I really want to read this thing by reading the blurb. And yes, that still sounds interesting. So let's go and look for The Kiss of Deception with P-E-A. So you'd probably need to, unless you're just really good at remembering names that you've never heard before, you may want to jot that down on a Post-it note or something, P-E-A, The Kiss of Deception, and then go to the fiction section and find it. Okay, let's go back. So we've covered some fiction ways to do it. Now, well, I guess we could also search for fiction by certain keywords and things like that. And that's kind of self-explanatory. So let's just roll on and say I'm doing a book report and I want to learn about more about Hitler. So I could type in Hitler to the search box. And let's search by keyword. And we've got 80 titles that have come up. One thing you need to be careful about that I want to talk about. So if it starts out with numbers, the call numbers start with numbers, that means that it's nonfiction. Because as you've learned, hopefully, as you've gone through this web page, nonfiction is organized by numbers, and then it has the first 3 letters of the author's last name at the end. But fiction is, it's going to have FIC or F. It's going to have letters as the first, and really all letters. So here we've got FIC, it stands for fiction, and BAR, the first 3 letters of the author's last name, The Boy Who Dared. So if I'm doing a research paper on Hitler, I'm not going to want to use this fictional book. But let's look at it just because I'm kind of interested to see what this is. So here it's got Hitler highlighted because that was our keyword. And it says in October 1942, 17-year-old Helmuth Hubner, imprisoned for distributing anti-Nazi leaflets, recalls his past life and how he came to dedicate himself to bring the truth about Hitler and the war to the German people. So a fictional account, and it says we've got 1 copy available, and we have 1 book total in the library. So again, I'm not going to want to use that for my research paper, but maybe I enjoy historical fiction, and I may want to come back to that later. Oh, I didn't mean to exit the search altogether. Let's go back to Hitler here by keyword. So I would want to browse. You can always refine your search. Here's where you can click refine your search, and you can also sort by and do some different kind of things as you get more familiar with this system. You probably don't ever want to just take the first book because it's the first book. You're going to have, go to details and read about it. Look at the titles and see if they're going to be helpful for you. Here's Albert Einstein. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see where Hitler is in that. Oh, he has early education in Germany. So that's kind of interesting. Nazi oppression and immigration in the United States. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, Lord. Here I go. I'll see if it'll take me back. Okay. I hit refresh and it took me back, thankfully. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to publish this video, even though I'm kind of going a little long. We'll be all right. Okay, I may make it better later. Okay, so here we go. Nazi architects of the Holocaust. So let's say I want to check out that book. So I'm going to need to write down the call number, probably for sure, because look, it's like 5 numbers long. And then we also need to know the BRE, because there might be another 940.53. Depending on what subject that comes up as, by a different author. So we need to write down that entire call number, and then we need to look for the library signage that, kind of points in the 900 direction, and start looking at the shelf and find a 940.53. If you have any, and then of course the BRE. If you have any trouble locating that book, of course you need to ask me, and I'll be happy to take you in that direction. Maybe you're wanting to know about this Albert Einstein, you want to go ahead and check out that book too, so you could get that call number. Ooh. So this one is a biography. Actually, I'm glad I mentioned that, or kind of came across that, because biographies, the first 3 letters of whoever the biography is about. So since this biography is about Albert Einstein, notice he's got his the first 3 letters of his last name here. And 921 is always the call number for biographies. And Alice Calaprise, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She's the one who wrote that book about Albert Einstein. But again, it's still got Einstein, the first 3 letters of his. It was published in 2005, and we've got 1 copy available. And so yeah, there you go. All right, I hope that can get you going on using our electronic card catalog, and that you've held on for 13 minutes. That's why I said I should probably make this shorter, but not today. So anyway, let me know if you watched this video and if it was helpful. And I'll talk to you later. Hope to see you in the library reading.